Moin, this is Timo, you're watching KDAP TV. Let's say we estimated the efforts of our project and the milestones seem realistic. And yet time is running out at the end of our project. So how comes? Was the estimate too optimistic? Were there too many changes? Did you really just focus on what you agreed to in the original specs? No? Then your project is most likely like one of the 99% of the other projects that changed during its life cycle. But how can we find out how much it changed and how to handle this? That's what we want to answer today. For agile projects, changes are daily business, and parts are often defined during the development process. But sometimes you may need to use a hybrid approach. So how can you know how much of your project has changed? Or how can you find out how much effort went into things that are defined in the specs versus things that are out of scope? You need to track it, either in a spreadsheet or directly in Jira. Let me show you a nice little tool. First of all, let's create a custom field to determine whether a ticket is in scope versus out of scope. I'm going to use a select list with a single choice and name it scope. I'll put a description in here and add some options like in scope and out of scope. And you might want to enter an option if the scopeness is not defined for whatever reason. Let's set that as the default value. Once your custom field is created, you can use it for all your projects inside this Jira instance. Just make sure to add it to your screens, otherwise you won't be able to use it at all. Now let's create a couple of tickets and define their scopeness. Let's say we have 3 features that are parts of the original specs and 2 changes that came up later. We assume that a couple of them are done already. We can already do cool stuff with it. Let's create a dashboard. I'm going to name it Scope. Then I'm adding an issue statistic for my project and set the statistic type to Scope, which is our custom field. Now we have an overview of how many tickets are in scope versus out of scope. You can go crazy and use all kinds of filters. I prepared some, so let me create 2 more statistics really quick. One for tickets that are already done and one for tickets that are not done yet. What does all this give us? This helps to understand when new stuff is popping up, whether it's within the budget or not. So you can communicate that in time with the respective stakeholders. If a change is high priority but not in the budget, it can help finding candidates to cut. For example, you could search for tickets that are still to do and in scope. Of course, we need to make sure to get the approval when cutting features. This also helps to communicate the project status. You can easily find out now what has been compromised in favor of other features that were not in the specs originally. And you also can help your customer communicating to his management when certain features have to be cut. You have also a feeling of how much the project has drifted when you check the completed tasks in scope versus the completed tasks out of scope. But you might ask, are these numbers really convincing? And you're absolutely right. It's not really watertight to just take the number of tickets into account. The real fun kicks in when adding times. So let's move some tickets to in progress and add some estimates, like a couple of days. And let's track some hours. Now we need to update our dashboard. This time I'm going to create a workload pie which takes the actual time and puts it into a diagram categorized by the value of a property. Again, you can of course use your predefined filters here. But for this example, let's just take the entire project. Of course, we will again use our custom field scope to categorize. And let's focus on the track time. Actually, let's create a second one that shows the tickets that are to do by scope. This is now way more accurate than just counting the tickets, and it's actually powerful. On this diagram I can see that we worked for that amount of time on items that were originally not in the specs. On this one I can see how much time we need to get all things left done in scope versus out of scope. So I can go and check if everything is within the budget. And if you need more or just prefer to stay within your comfort zone in Excel, you still can export everything to a CSV or Excel file and do whatever you want there and take the scopeness into account. That's it for today. Please like if this video has been of some use to you. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.